If you're a veteran, you need to watch the next few minutes of this because there is real money on the line, and Alexa's going to help us figure out how to get more money for you for that next house.
Hi, I'm Alexa Price Mortgage with Clearwater Home Loans, and I'm here with the wonderful Moeller&Barber, and we're talking about veterans today. I do lending. I'm part of the team here. We do the finance piece, and my job today is to give you a little bit of information on veterans and what to look for when you're coming to a lender on the VA products.
So how many points do we have today, Alexa?
You have 10 points.
10 points. So hang on. We got 10 points for you guys to check out. So let's jump into one. What's number one?
Number one, are you eligible? Just because you serve doesn't actually mean that you can get a VA loan. People don't understand that. So the first thing that we do when you call our office is we'll ask you if you have your DD-214.
Okay.
If you have that, we'd like to see a copy of it, and we can get the information from there. Or you can go on to the VA website yourself as a veteran, and you can get what's called your COE, or your Certificate of Eligibility. That COE is going to determine two things. One, do you have eligibility? What amount you're eligible for to purchase, loan amount-wise. And also if you're going to be exempt from the funding fee or what the funding fee will be. Okay. Because those are two things that are involved in actually giving us the information we need for a veteran.
All right, so that's number one. What's number two?
Number two is basically financing. So VA has an excellent program because it's 100%. Okay. It's one of the only programs available today in the lending world that allows for 100% of the sales price.
Gotcha. Which our veterans deserve.
Yes, they do. And now loan amounts $424,100. It actually changed from $417. The conventional limits have changed as well, so that ups it a little bit for veterans now too. Nice. Coming into January, which is really nice for the loan amount for 100% financing.
Okay. How about three?
Three is I don't need any money, right? It's 100% financing.
There you go. That's a nice thing.
Yeah, for the sales price. Right. So the tricky part is there are still closing costs involved. Exactly. You still have to insure a home. You have to set up information for repaying your property taxes. There's going to be a title company involved that's going to charge you a fee. There's a lender fee involved. So how do you pay those closing costs? These are with funds that you can either get as a gift if you don't have them accessible from a family member, or you can actually ask the seller to contribute. So those are two ways to kind of build it in a little bit, or we can help you with a financial plan to save, getting that money together, maybe a little bit slower process than you were hoping for, but we'll give you the information. But
at least you have a plan.
You have a plan. Right. That's the point. You need a plan.
Gotcha.
Or a retirement 401k.
Oh.
You could borrow against that.
Okay.
Great use of funds and get you into a home.
Okay. What's next?
Property types, right? So VA actually allows for multiple different property types. Single family is the most popular. Okay. But you also have 2 to 4 units, which is great. So
a lot of people probably don't know that.
They don't. 100% financing for a veteran up to 4 units. Live in one, rent the other 3 out. It's a great income stream. Right. You can also do townhomes. Okay. Right. You can do modular manufactured. Not many in our area, but for those watching that are outside the area. Right. And then there's always a misconception about condos. You will see condos on the list. Again, very limited for our area to have a condo. So primarily single family, townhome, and 2 to 4 unit would be what you want to focus on.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Fifth point?
Yeah.
Full doc. So just because you're a veteran does not mean you don't have to qualify. Okay. We are going to look at income and assets. It's part of the program. The VA is very conscious of their veterans and making sure that we're not putting them in something that's going to maybe make it difficult for them down the road.
Gotcha.
So
makes sense.
An income stream. How can you pay for the property? Right. 6, credit. VA actually allows for pretty low credit scores. Wow. At Caliber, we go down to 580. Okay. That's not industry standard. Right. There's really no set credit score for VA, so you have to talk to each individual lender, but some require higher credit scores, and we actually go to 580.
It makes a lot of sense. I mean, they're just looking out to make sure no one gets in a stretch.
Right.
Right. Okay.
But they also allow for you to maybe have made some slow payments along the way. A lot of times military are transferred here and there, and they maybe make a lick payment. Not that they're not credit conscious, it's just that they do move around a lot.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Full entitlement can be restored. So if you have purchased a VA home before, people think that I can't buy another VA home because I've already used my entitlement. Once you sell your home, your full entitlement is restored. And you can do a simultaneous closing. So if you're selling a home one day, you'll get full entitlement by repurchasing your new property the same day, and we know how to work around that.
Is there a particular hold period, or I mean, literally like 1 year you could hold and then buy and then close and go into another one?
You can do it the same day.
Okay.
So you can own your VA home, be selling it today, purchasing your new VA property in another state, and we do know how to work around that.
Awesome. That's good.
But going to the next point, similar question is, what if you have your VA home in another state and you don't want to sell it? Can you get another VA loan? And actually you can. So there is another misconception that I cannot buy another VA or use my VA again. There's an entitlement amount, and we have to see the current loan and look at the new one to let you know if you can do another 100% with the same entitlement. But it is possible depending on the loan amounts.
I had no idea.
It's a great product. Again, a little bit different with the VA. Going into that 9th point is the appraisals. So usually as a lender, it's our appraisal panel. We on FHA, conventional, we have a great group of appraisers that we work with. VA does, again, really want to protect those veterans, and we have to order our appraisal through the VA.
And the VA has their own set criteria what they like to see in a home, right?
They do. They do. A little bit more stringent versus maybe conventional. They're really, again, looking out for the veteran. They want to look at the property. And since it is 100% financing, and make sure that the veteran and the property are all within the requirements.
That's awesome. What's 10?
10 is can you do a refinance? So I know we're talking about purchases today. Another question that really comes up, and yes, you can refinance your VA home. So if you've moved out of your VA home, you bought it as a primary residence, now it's a second home, now it's an investment property, VA will actually allow you to do a refinance on those occupancy types, primary, second, or investment.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, very interesting. Can't do it as a purchase, but you can do it as a refi. And those are kind of just a quick 10 points on VA that's really good information for people to know.
So you heard it here. There's 10 points to get you started on your VA loan process. If you have any questions, we're going to put Alexa's information down in the comments. But feel free to connect with her. We love her. She's awesome. She's helped us tremendously in so many deals. But those are the 10 points for VA. And thanks for the time, Alexa.
Thank you.
Cool.